Hey guys, welcome to She Talks Life and Faith. I'm Gloria and we're here with our guest, Omar.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us. And just kind of wanted to talk about some things that I think we always want to talk about subjects that can help everyone. So we want to talk about different subjects. And today's subject, I thought about talking about breaking patterns, breaking maybe unhealthy patterns that are just unhealthy, just not positive, and I think we can all relate. I'm sure everyone has something that maybe we wish we could improve in, and that's always our goal, to make life better and improve our life. And so for me, I thought, I think patterns are kind of created at home with your environment also. I think it has to do, definitely, sometimes it can come down from generations, your culture, different things. And for me, I think that if you want to start a new pattern, maybe improve new ideas, sometimes you have to break those patterns. Maybe, like I said, not all patterns are bad, because there's some things that are, maybe that we have learned in our culture or our generations that are very positive. Like myself, I'm Mexican and I love the Mexican food, so that's
Right.
That's something that I definitely don't want to, change. I want to continue, eating the food, But I'm talking about like patterns that are so for myself, and I think I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm mentioning it today. For my parents, they didn't have the opportunity to go on to their higher education, go to college or anything like that. And I always thought, I want to break that pattern.
Right.
And so it was a little bit challenging, and I'm always going to be sharing, my own personal story. And for me, my story is that, I was kind of scared, actually.
Right.
I was a little bit scared to go to college because I had not had anyone in my family who went there, who graduated from college, And so when I started getting to those higher classes, I proud of myself. I took calculus and those higher level courses in college, or I took some advanced placement classes in high school. I would doubt myself. I was like, can I do this? Can I break that pattern from the past? And so that's why I want to share that, because don't feel that if in your family or in your environment, or maybe where you grew up, your neighborhood, maybe it don't feel that you have to conform to what is happening there. And for me, that was one of my first times when I would say I broke the pattern, because I can say that I graduated from college,
and you became I believe you had mentioned this, that you became kind of an inspiration for your siblings also, because you were the first one to kind of break that pattern. Because as Hispanics, I know a lot of times we may be the first in our families to go to college, to graduate college, and that's a scary thing, and that's why sometimes people get in certain habits, because they're afraid, they fear to fail.
I was afraid. So yes, you're actually right. I was the first one out of my siblings who went to college, and I think for you it was the opposite, right? Like you already had brothers, right? That went
two older brothers that
to school.
We're all 5 years apart, and my oldest brother was the first to go to college, and he graduated, and then my other brother ended up following, and then I kind of already saw them doing it, but it still was challenging, right? And I think going back to the patterns, my patterns in school when I was younger maybe were not the best as far as studying. Nobody was pushing me, Omar, you gotta study, you gotta work hard, can impact you. I kind of just didn't take it serious, which probably a lot of people don't. Some people do.
And see what you're saying right now, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because I myself forgot, because I don't know, you kind of sometimes you just do the things, and that's why I want to focus. It's just breaking, patterns, bad patterns, and I don't want to say bad patterns, but patterns that are not positive, I guess, because that is it's not the best pattern, to think you will not be able to do well in college. And I truthfully, I'm not just exaggerating. I really thought, well, I don't know, can I do it? I questioned myself, even though, I excelled. Actually, I got 4.0 in some classes. I really did really good. And imagine, I did really good and I was questioning myself. But why? Because of the patterns I saw in my family, the background. And I don't think, I think my parents, maybe they just didn't have the opportunity. I'm not saying, I just think that's the reason. Sometimes it's not that. They just didn't have the opportunity. And yes, I had to be that trailblazer for my little, for my circle of like my siblings, because they didn't think. And you're right, my siblings, did mention to me, you going to college motivated me and made me, inspired me and made me think I can do it. So, hopefully anyone out there, anybody listening, if you feel like, well, no one in my family has gone, to higher education, university, college, and you might doubt yourself, don't doubt yourself. You can do it. You can do anything that you set your mind to. And that's what I learned. And anything else that you want to share right now?
Yeah, no, it's a great point, and I think very admirable for you to go to college, set that example, and do well, and break out of the fear, because a lot of times that's really all it is just getting out of the fear, breaking the fear of can I do this? Yeah. I haven't seen others do this around me in my circle.
Yeah.
And life is all about taking risk and breaking out of your comfort zone. And the more you start getting in the habit of getting out of your comfort zone, you can start getting out of these patterns. Maybe you think, you know what, maybe I'm not smart enough. Rebuke that. Right? It's like, no, I am a very smart person.
And I think, I don't want to just focus on, specifically, just going to school, going to college. I mean, there's many other areas like, I
can give you an example. Like when I was starting off, like working, I took very minimal jobs, that's the truth. Like, because nobody was pushing me, hey, Omar, you're smart enough. Maybe you should challenge yourself, something that's a little more challenging.
Well, kind of like you're talking about, jobs, like kind of like also maybe you have noticed in your family, nobody's been able to, maybe purchase a home. Maybe it's been a challenge. It's been very difficult. And maybe set yourself new patterns, new goals. I can accomplish that and try to maybe get out of that I don't know, mindset, or just try your best, and also, I'm a person of faith, and have faith and pray and surround yourself, whatever your goal is, whether, because for somebody it could be going to college. For somebody it could be like, a professional, a higher job, right? Like moving up in the career ladder. And for somebody else it could be buying a home. For somebody else, maybe marriage, something, different things, whatever it is, break that pattern, that mindset. And I always like to share, for me, I do think it involves, changing those patterns, but also, faith and surrounding yourself with other people of faith, maybe, and listening to, that's been something that has always helped me, listening to others who overcame patterns and how did they do it?
Yeah.
What was their way of doing it? Like, I just shared my way of like, being able to go to school, and I just did it, really. I just did it. I said, I'm going to do it, and I tried it. That was my
Maybe it would have been easier had you had a mentor. And that does help a lot. There's been times where in my career, met with people that were higher in their career, more experience, more life experience, older than me. And by just giving me a little bit of advice, changed the trajectory of where I was headed in a positive way, right? And I think that's also an important thing, is to put yourself out there, meet new people. If there's something you're interested in doing, surround yourself with people that have already accomplished that, or even doing something even bigger than that.
Asking help, people who have maybe gone through that. Like you said, a mentor, maybe in church, they have sometimes groups, different, or finding different, there's so many different ways maybe even going online, nowadays, like, or listening to, other people like us, or sharing our stories, and I just wanted, basically, I mean, there's so many different goals and dreams that we all have. And for me, that I just, wanted to share how, I set my mind to break that pattern, and it happened. Like I said, I even did better than I thought. So don't doubt yourself, because when you do, it's you can do it. I mean, and you, what's your point that you want to make also on that?
Yeah, my point is, it's all about the way you think when you want to break a pattern.
Yes.
Carol Dweck is an author that wrote a book called it's about your growth mindset, and basically it's talking about how some people have a fixed mindset, and basically what that means is you believe that you can only do certain things. You're not capable of doing certain other things. But a growth mindset is saying, you know what, I'm constantly evolving. We're constantly evolving as people, and there's nothing that I can't do. If I really am passionate about it, I can learn how to do something, and it might be challenging at first like anything else, right? But you can.
And I think that's a great point that you're making. And I also want to say, because it sounds easy, like, oh, just, mindset and do that. But, I'm sharing my experience. I think also it could be challenging if like your environment, and that's why you need to sometimes maybe go outside of your environment. Like for me, and, my environment maybe wasn't, can't say it was the worst, but it wasn't the best. It was okay. And I think when I left for school. I left for school. I believe when I was young, college. I went to college, and I went to Charlotte, North Carolina, and sometimes just getting out of that environment and seeing other. I don't know. I had the opportunity to meet people from all over the world. People from all over, and so when you meet other people, you start to just I guess expanding a little bit your environment. Not just the mindset, but expanding your environment, and that can also help you expand your ideas, your goals, your dreams. And when you see other people doing things, then you're like, okay, I don't have to conform to this little environment that I'm in. Wherever you're in. Not, like I said, not that it was the worst, but in my environment, I can't say I saw a lot of people that were going to college. I maybe was, one of very, like, I didn't really see anyone like me.
That's a really good point, Gloria, because, I'm sure at some point you had to stop caring about what other people thought about your decision to go to North Carolina, because you said, you know what, I just want to do this, right? I want to do this, and that is sometimes what it takes to break a pattern, that you want to, or create a new pattern, is saying, you know what, I don't really care, and that's easier said than done, but, I don't really care what other people think. This is what I want to do, I want to do. This is what makes me happy, and going with that, and doing those things.
And what was your environment growing up? Did it make you doubt yourself?
Yeah, I think, people you hang out with
that's
can definitely
true.
impact
Your circle, right?
Your circle of friends. You realize as you get older, and that's why sometimes as people get older, they don't keep the same friends a lot of times. Sometimes they do if there's similarities.
Maybe you outgrow certain friends, or your interest is not necessarily that some friends are bad. It's just like you have other interests, right? So yeah, I mean, I think it's like I said, I just wanted to kind of just touch a little bit about breaking patterns and starting new patterns to improve your life, to improve your life and to make your dreams, your goals, whatever it is that you want to accomplish. Like I said, it could be whether you want to buy a house, you want to go to school, you want to start a business. Nobody in your family has ever started a business, and you have that. You want to be an entrepreneur, and you want to start a business, and you feel like, how can I do this? Nobody else has started a business in my family. Well, don't doubt yourself. You can do it. Maybe find someone that has. Go get help and ask them, how did you start your business? I hope that today, whatever your goal or your dream is, I hope that maybe you got a little bit of inspiration, inspired from learning, your personal experiences. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much, Omar, for joining us.
Thank you.
And I hope maybe some of my personal experiences, about education, or whatever it is that you want to accomplish. Just remember, you can always break patterns and start new patterns. And hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you.